Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin. These men spoke up for what they thought was right. From their courage came such documents as the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States. From their willingness to speak what was sometimes unpopular but right, we enjoy such liberties as freedom of speech, the right to keep and bear arms, and freedom of religion. There are those who still wish to oppress our freedoms, and there are still patriots willing to stand up and defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Men like Zeb Bell, who honor our founding fathers and what they stood for. It's now time for Zeb at the ranch, speaking up and defending your freedoms. Brought to you by Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and all of the other great advertisers on the program. And now, Zeb Bell.
Thomas Fuller created this phrase, and these words really bear listening to. Listen to this. You cannot repent too soon, because you do not know how soon it may be too late. Amen. Here comes Kate Smith and God Bless America, followed by a Patriot. Calling in with our Pledge of Allegiance on a beautiful morning. Good morning. And a good morning to you. I'm Zeb Bell, Zeb at the Ranch, of course, with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you, and, of course, great people. Stop in also and see Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. Right now, let's go to the phone line and have our Pledge of Allegiance. Good morning.
Well, good morning, sir.
You're the man.
Yes, I thought I'd do the pledge this morning. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Attaboy, Wheels. Right now, let's head to the weather forecast. And the weather, of course, brought to you by Roger and the crew over at K&R Rental. Now, listen to me. This is really important. You're probably sitting there, maybe you're new in the area, and you're saying, gee, I don't know where to go to get maybe a tiller, or maybe to get a log splitter, or maybe to get an excavator. Look no further than 256 South, 600 West of Heyburn on the Burley-Paul Highway. Just ask directions. You'll see it. Can't miss it. And, of course, they've got the best tools and equipment to finish any project you're working on. Stop in or give them a call at 678-3122. K&R Rental. Here's Gina with the weather.
Here's a look at your weather forecast for this Thursday, November 8th on Zeb at the Ranch. We're expecting a nice day, sunny skies, winds out of the west-southwest, right around 9 miles an hour. Expecting a high of 42 tonight. It is going to get cold. Clear skies and a low of 14, winds out of the west, right around 8 miles an hour. That means we're going to be scraping our windshields by Friday morning, but we are expecting sunny skies for Friday, high of 46. Friday night, partly cloudy skies with a low of 23. As we make our way to the weekend on Saturday, mostly sunny skies, expecting a high of 44. Winds are going to be picking up just a little bit on Saturday. Out of the west, right around 15 miles an hour. Gusts as high as 25 miles an hour. We do have a 20% chance of snow showers after midnight for Saturday night, probably cloudy skies with a low of 23. Then for Veterans Day Sunday, sunny skies and 41. That's your weather. For Zeb at the Ranch.
Thank you, Gina, and brought to you by K&R Rental at 256 South, 600 West of Heyburn. Roger and the crew get there early in the morning at 7 a.m. to better serve all the folks, and if you're not sure what you need questions answered, call them at 678-3122, K&R Rental. I'll tell you what, Merv May, come on in here, would you please?
All right, hey, good set of steer calves there, here to get all the 31 1 31 going.
That's the chant of the world's best auctioneer, Merv May, over at Burley Livestock Sale Yard at 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley. The sale that works for you, and sale time this morning, of course, at 10 a.m. Merv, along with Cade Rogge and Lance Udy, all of them working hard for you at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard. Holy moly, are they going to have a ripping good sale today. Listen to this. They've got Greg Greg Barkdale coming down from American Falls with 100 head of calves. Kirk and Sherry Southern, I know those nice people out at Sublette, 115 head of calves. Bob Whitby over to Cary, Good Country, 130 head of calves. Gloria Parker up at Richfield, 60 head of calves. Kenny War out at Grouse Creek. Hello, Kenny, 160 head of calves. Betsy Whitworth over to Bliss area, 90 head of calves coming in. Dick Simpson at Cary, 75 head of calves. Tom Peck at Cary, another good guy, 85 head of steer calves. Dorothy Payne of Montella, Nevada, way out there in the cold winter country, 60 head of calves coming in. J.R. Robinson of Castleford, 90 head of calves. Tom Gary, I know that man for a long time, up at Albion, 70 head of calves. Moo View Dairies bringing in 50 head of Holstein steers, and Paul Cardone of Tremont bringing in 55 head of Holstein steers, along with a good run of butcher cows. Sale time at 10 o'clock. It's going to be a dandy today at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard, 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley, 678-9411. Merv, sell those steers.
All right, hey, good set of steer calves there. Here to get all the 31, 1.5, 31, 1.5, 32, 2.5, 3.5, 134, 4.5, 5.5, 130, 550, 135, and I selling $1.35. Zeb Mel, get bottom again.
Thank you, Merv, and they do a great job over there. Still, no winner in that very, very contentious Senate race down in Arizona. And they said maybe it might take until Monday to go through and literally discern who's going to be the winner in that Senate race. So we will see. Sinema and McSally. And McSally has a slight lead, but they're going to make sure they have everything right, which is understandable. I want to also mention that Monday, the day after Veterans Day, on this program, we're going to have a salute to our veterans, thanks to my very, very dear friend, George Mass. George has put together a group of people that are going to be here from 10 to 11 on Monday, and we're going to have a real tribute to Veterans Day. So that's coming up on next Monday at 10 o'clock right here on Zeb at the Ranch. Want to remind you, too, about Ramsey Heating and Electric. Hello, good morning. We're going to be talking to Rita later on this morning. Ramsey Heating and Electric, they have been in business over 6 decades. Not many businesses can say that. And they know what they're doing. They're proud of their people, and they're very, very happy to serve you. 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. Number to call, 678-0459. All your heating, cooling, and electrical needs at the best. Ramsey Heating and Electric in Burley. You get a hold of them today. Want to also acknowledge and say a great big shout out to Denny's Restaurant. And in the fall of the year, everybody kind of likes seasonal flavors and everything. Well, how about all the pumpkin flavors that are going on over there at Denny's Restaurant? And pumpkin spice pancake puppies. Say that fast 5 times and see what station you're on. Pumpkin spice pancake puppies, along with pumpkin pie and pumpkin pie milkshakes. And then, of course, pecan pie. All of this at Denny's Restaurant, 611 North Overland in Burley with Thomas and the crew. And another location at 291 Pole Line Road in Twin Falls. The best at America's Diner, Denny's Restaurant. You stop in and see those good folks today. I got a lot of things we need to talk about this morning, and I'm going to shotgun through a lot of them in a hurry. Very unfortunately, and I feel sorry for this lady. She is elderly and still on the Supreme Court. 85-year-old Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Supreme Court member, hospitalized this morning after a bad fall that I understand took place actually last evening, and fractured some ribs. And I don't care what political stance you are or assume. When there's an injury or something like this, we wish you the best in healing, and that goes out to 85-year-old Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And she's just such a tiny, tiny little lady anyway. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. A couple of things need to be mentioned, and we're going to go through these really fast. I don't understand why this happened. Nobody can ever understand. But late last night at a country western bar in Thousand Oaks, California, I know exactly where it is, 11 people were shot at random. One police officer was killed, and apparently the shooter took his own life. So 13 people dead, 18 people injured. And I don't know a whole lot about the suspect right now, allegedly 29 years of age, and had driven his mother's car over to the Borderline Bar and Grill. It's a hangout for young people, country music enthusiasts, etc. I know, like I said, I know exactly where the place is. And they were all there for a fun evening of line dancing, and then this guy supposedly walked in, and it was just utter chaos and mayhem. And our thoughts and prayers go out to the family members. Our thoughts and prayers go out to the sheriff's department. And I certainly hope they find out the why that this had to happen. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Don't forget, too, that Stoats Equipment Company, your John Deere dealer. Boy, these are great people at 119 Overland in Burley. And they have a segment on Tuesdays called Stoats Equipment Company's Ag Minutes. And be sure and listen to that. Vic, of course, is on there with us and talking about all the great things that are going on, not only with John Deere, but also agriculture in general, and we thank them very much. Stoats Equipment Company, your John Deere dealer. They make your life easier. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb. Are you open to any subject this morning?
Well, depending on what it is. I mean, I've got some things I have to get into in a few minutes, which I have had on my sheet all morning, and I'm going to take the time for that. But go ahead. What have you got?
Well, this Ontario-Oregon proposition, or whatever you want to call it, now is allowing this recreation marijuana. What's the difference between recreation marijuana and medical marijuana?
Well, terminology.
Isn't it?
Terminology. It's still the usage of a product that, quite frankly, I know there's a lot of people that are going to disagree with me, but I'm just going to say I'm going to say it's a gateway drug, I think, to bigger and worse things. And recreation or medical, or whatever the terminology you want to hang on it, I still question the motives behind having it. Are you there?
He must have hung up, sir. I'm not sure if the phone just cut out or what.
Well, I don't know either, but it left me with great feelings of what happened. Okay, thank you very much. Keith, we didn't hang up on you. I don't know what happened. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I don't know, all of a sudden everything just went, boop, it's dead. Don't forget Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. I'm telling you, Nick Greenwell and all the physical therapists, they really, really know how to help you get back to being you. Whether you're recouping from a surgery or an accident, or maybe you got bunged up playing football, or whatever the case might be, they can and will help you. And they've got that hydrotherapy pool, the only one of its kind in the area. They are good. Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. The number to call, 678-1191. Excuse me for the cough. When I get a cold, I always make sure that I get a dandy. I mean, there's no sense messing around with something trivial. You got to have a good one, and I did get a good one. And unfortunately, I already gave it to Deanne, too. Did you see the press conference at the White House yesterday? I want to talk a little bit about this because it leads me into another subject that I am very upset about this morning. Some of the reporters' rudeness, and quite frankly, it was a great showing of what exactly Donald Trump has been talking about. A leftist, spiteful, media that absolutely is out to have a gotcha moment every time they visit with and or ask questions with President Trump. And some of the reporters' rudeness and some of the off-the-rail questions, CNN's Jim Acosta went overboard in his rudeness of his question. And one of the White House staffers that is paid to be there and take the microphone from one reporter to another went over to get the microphone, and Acosta kind of pushed her hands away and just kept on going. And at that juncture, I really thought that President Trump, who was only standing about 6 or 7 feet away from Acosta up behind the podium, I honestly thought that President Trump was going to, after the girl had been pushed aside, basically, I thought he was going to leave the podium and come down and get Jim Acosta. Honestly, there was a moment there when Donald Trump moved away from the microphone and the podium, and I thought, oh, boy, look out. Here we go. Trouble in River City. Well, at that juncture, cooler heads prevailed. Acosta got rid of the microphone. President Trump went back to the podium, and hopefully, at that point, I thought everything was going to cool down. Then, caller, I'll be right with you. A female reporter got up and asked Trump, and this is what I want to highlight this morning, and I want you, the audience, to jump in on this. This reporter, a black female reporter, got up and said, President Trump, are you a white nationalist? And President Trump looked at her and said that was a disgusting question, I'm paraphrasing, and that it was a racist question and had no room in that press conference. Now, I'm going to talk about this in a minute, but to be fair to the caller, we're going to have that caller on the air. Quickly, caller, I want to hear what you have to say.
Well, I'm the good news guy this morning. The price of the meal to take out at the Senior Junction are only $5.
Wow.
Been reduced $2. So let's come and get a whole bunch of those takeout meals. Now today we have meatloaf, mashed taters and gravy, mixed vegetables, and pumpkin custard dessert.
Ooh.
It's going to be yummy.
Joe, it sounds great. You are the yummy man at the Senior Junction. Thank you so much for calling in this morning, and have a wonderful day eating all those yummies.
Yeah, come and get some takeout meals. Just call in and order at 878-8646.
There you go.
Bye.
Thank you, Joe. Appreciate it. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I spent some time last night, and I should back up just a little bit. I talked to a very dear friend this morning. I was so hot about this issue of the negativity that is being brought up about being a white nationalist. We talked about this one other time. But there have been people that I just don't feel that they have the integrity in knowing the English language to the point where they have taken the words white nationalist and they've destroyed those words for what really they mean. And they've put them into a negativity barrel and compared almost on the same level as white supremacist or terrorist or whatever the case might be. And I'm really upset about this, very upset about this. I am, and I'm going to say this right up front, I am I'm Caucasian, can't hide that. And I am also a nationalist. And when I say I'm a nationalist, I absolutely have an agenda of patriotism, standing proud for the pledge and our national anthem, and being very proud of my nation, America, above all others. You can look these up in the dictionary. You'll find out that I'm exactly right. But all of a sudden the left, and those that absolutely have the combined brain power of a bicycle spoke, have started using the terminology white nationalist as negativity, and one to be watched for and or criticized. Now, it's all right for certain groups of our society to say black pride or black power or brown power or brown pride or whatever the case might be. Nothing is said because we can't say anything about another so-called minority group. But we are white, most of us are, and I am a nationalist. I have no support for the Aryan nations. I despise those people. I have no support for any radical right or left-wing nuts. I despise all of them. I'm proud to be an American. My skin color is white. I'm Caucasian. I'm very proud of my country, and I'm thankful for all that has been done for me by those before me, giving their blood, sweat, and tears and their lives. Am I a nationalist? Pardon the expression, but damn right. I am so proud of this country. I am so proud to be an American. I don't care about what Brazilians think of their country, or Ethiopians, or Japanese, or any other country. I don't care. They have a right to be nationalists and support their own country and love their own country. But to denigrate me as a Caucasian and a person that loves this country, a nationalist, I find disgusting and deplorable. I don't need to be ridiculed and condemned by anybody for what I am and what I stand for. Your calls are welcome. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I don't understand why today, more so than at any other time in my lifetime, words can be taken and misconstrued into a negativity. I am white. Maybe you're white. Maybe you're not. And I love this country. Which, if you look up the terminology, I'm a nationalist and I love America. But today, with some that want to skew the language, that's not right. Callers, please give me a call, 436-2244. I'll be right with you. Stand by. Don't forget our dear friends at Ramsey Heating and Electric and Lennox, and they are offering something really special for you. That's right, Ramsey Heating and Electric offering up to $1,600 in rebates on qualifying equipment purchases. Call them today at 678-0459. Ramsey Heating and Electric, over 60 years of service to you. Also, our big thanks go out to Ark Animal Hospital. I don't care if you've got little bitty kitty cats or if you've got a whole bunch of dairy cattle, horses, whatever the case might be. The wonderful people over at Ark Animal Hospital can and will make sure that your animals stay healthy. They are good. Dr. Bill, Dr. Jordan, the whole crew, and I urge you to remember the name. Ark Animal Hospital at 750 21st Street near Connection Credit Union in Heyburn. And the number to call, 678-1177. They do have the warm hearts for the cold noses. Caller, thank you. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Yes, that is nothing but baloney. I absolutely am not a person that appreciates political correctness. I think political correctness is nothing more than a way of shutting down somebody that you disagree with, and it is not correct in any manner. I will always salute my flag. I will always love my country. I will always love my God. I will stand and salute soldiers that go by me with the flag. I respect people that serve in the military, and I respect people that love our country. I do not respect a media that despises and does disgusting things to our political leaders.
Jerry, let me interrupt you for a second here, but the terminology has even been picked up by some that I don't think have a full comprehension of the English language, and they have written stories about it, etc., and I'm very upset to the point that all of a sudden I am a Caucasian. I believe you're Caucasian also, and being white is nothing to be ashamed of, and certainly being a nationalist is nothing to be ashamed of, and I absolutely am going going to get irate and livid with anybody that wants to take me to task over the fact that I believe I am a white nationalist. Now, that has nothing to do with the offshoot radical stupid people that are part of any other organization, whether it's Aryan Nations or whatever. I condemn that. But national symbols and flags and national anthem and national languages and national respect is something I'm very proud of, and I guess I am a white nationalist of the United States of America.
And I do not know one person in this country that is not white somewhere, whether it's their eyes or something else. We're all colored also. I have brown, well, I used to have brown hair, now I have gray hair. I keep forgetting I'm getting right up close to that 80-year mark. But, you know, I think to even associate color with anything other than being a human being is stupid.
It is. And you know, this it's so easy today for those that have the combined brain power of a box of rocks to start throwing the term racism or racist around, and I'm fed up with it.
Well, I'm not going to use the term on anybody because every one of us is a race, and we belong to it, and we should be proud of what we are and where we came from. You know, our background is what made this country what it is today, which is probably the most giving, forgiving, and wonderful country there is. I think we do dumb things, like take care of people that break our laws by coming into this country, giving them homes and education and food and money to live on, when they've contributed absolutely nothing to our country at all.
There you go, Jerry. By the way, Jerry, to you and your wonderful wife, Rose, thank you for your very kind, friendly sentiments on my wife and I having our anniversary coming up this next week.
Well, we always appreciate you and Deanne.
Thank you.
I hope you know that.
God bless you.
Last comment will be the same as always. May the Lord bless you and your whole audience.
Thank you very much, Jerry. I appreciate it. Take care, my dear friend. Thank you. Thank you.
You bet.
Nice man right there, and I highly respect him for all that he's done and all that he does. Thank you, Jerry Voss. I'd like to hear your comments about this. You know, we can take any words, you know. Okay. Pardon my choking. My goodness sakes, I got to get rid of this cold this weekend. I'm going to have to try some different type of medication. Anyhow, let's take the terminology cowboy. All of a sudden, remember here about 6 months ago, the University of Wyoming had a couple of real radical nincompoops over there that wanted to take the terminology cowboy off their logo. Oh, no, disorganized, nothing but a bunch of rebel rousers and everything. No, and the university, I've got to give them credit. I sent a letter to the University of Wyoming. I sent a letter to the president. I sent a letter to the person that was the head rebel rouser against the terminology cowboy for Wyoming University. And the university stood up and said to these particular minor voices, sit down, shut up, and go away. And I'm proud of what the university did. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb. I'm going to give you a quick quote that will tell you exactly how I feel on this matter of nationalism. It goes, to hear the sound of freedom, many gave their lives. They fought for you and me. Their memory will always live inside us. And now it's our time to be free.
You know, Rodney, you say a lot of things on this program, and that was one of the best ones yet. And I'm going to ask you if you wouldn't get that to me somehow at the next lunch bunch. That would mean a lot. Thank you. God bless you. I appreciate it.
The part of the song, another quote that I like to give you came from goes, now's the time we all must stand together. So raise your hands and show them we are strong. Side by side, the fight goes on forever. There
you go. Thank you so much for your call. That meant a lot. It really did. Thank you. Thank you.
And it's true, the fight does go on
Absolutely.
forever. We have to be strong.
It does. I appreciate your call again. Thank you. Sharp young man right there, honestly. And thoughts are well taken. Don't forget Dino Septic Service. And they have expanded their business bigger, better than anybody else. I'm telling you, they do a wonderful job of septic tanks being pumped and backhoe services, septic tanks and drain fields installed, and water and sewer lines cleaned out, liquid waste removal. They do the kind of a job that, quite frankly, you and I don't want to do. Dino Septic Service, like they said, they recently expanded and better to serve you. Call the number today, 436-6526, or in Burley, 678-1638. Yes, they'll pull in the yard with a big truck that says smells cargo on the way. Dino Septic Service, you get a hold of them right now. They can and they will serve you. Caller, I'm going to ask your indulgence. Stay with me. I'll be right there. I got 30 seconds. I've got to tell everybody about a great sale that's going to be going on this Saturday, managed by the Bennett Boys Auction Service. It's the Richard Golding Auction. It's going to be in Jerome area. From the center of Jerome, go west 3 miles, then north 2.5 miles. Look for the signs. Can't miss it. It's going to start at 11 o'clock this Saturday. Richard Golding Auction. They're going to have tractors and dump trucks and pickups and trailers and livestock items, haying equipment, farm equipment of all kinds. All of this and more, managed by the Bennett Boys Auction Service. You bet, my buddy Joe and the crew. And remember, no sale too big, no sale too small. The Bennett Boys, yep, they sell them all. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning again.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry you got cut off, but we didn't do it.
Well, okay. It's fine. What I wanted to bring up was about Obama. Can you remember this quote he made, that if he could possibly get all the white blood out of his body, that's what he would like to do?
I do remember the semblance of the phrase, but you know something, Keith? I'm not here this morning to stir up any racism. I'm not here on the air this morning to cause any more of a conflagration or any missteps with anybody. But I am here this morning to tell you that I'm extremely proud of this country. I have had opportunities in this country afforded me because I put forth the effort that I would have never had anywhere else on the world stage, anywhere. I love my country. I am a Caucasian. I can't change that. And if you look up the meaning in the dictionary, whether you use Webster's or whomever, you'll find out that being a nationalist is nothing negative. I am a white nationalist, and I'm not going to have some of these people that really don't understand words and the meaning of words decry that I'm a negative in society. I'm proud to be a nationalist.
Well, I am too. But if that wasn't a racial statement that he made, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
Because he was trying to draw a line. And we have mixed races. Spanish people marry white people all the time, vice versa, or black, or whatever. We have a mixed, I don't know what you'd call it.
Well, I just call them people. I just call them people. Wait a minute. Let's stop this. I don't want to go into racism or colors of skin or anything. I'm just going to call them people. God bless them. They're people. They have their wants, desires, their emotions, everything else, just like you and I. Everybody's the same with the same wants and desires, somewhat. But we also have people that want to keep playing a race card. Oh, you're a whitey. Oh, you're a nationalist. So white nationalist, that's bad. You know what? I'm sick of this. There are black nationalists. There are brown nationalists. I don't care what color of skin they are. We should love this United States of America and work hard to support the Constitution and the values this country stands for.
Couldn't have said it better.
Thank you for your call, Keith. I really mean that, and thanks for calling back.
You bet.
All right, take care. Yeah, this really upsets me. This really upsets me that everything has to be racist. Oh, you think this way. You must be a racist. I got to tell you, maybe I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago, I don't remember. But I ran into a man, and I'm being as polite as I can, it would have been 9 years ago, that when Obama was running for president, he was one of the people that instigated the racism charge against me. And my first impulse was to go over and maybe, I better not even get into that, but I didn't. And I just turned my back on him and walked away. I wanted him to know in no uncertain terms that I have complete disdain for him and what he stands for the complete horror that he prevailed upon my life by calling me a racist, what it did to my wife, my family, my business, etc., my friends, back in 2007. And instead of doing anything physical or confrontation, I just turned my back on him and walked away. He means nothing to me. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, sir. The ones that are doing the calling of the racist are the ones that are the racist. That's what I've seen. You look at Sharpton, you look at Jackson, you look at Obama, all of them.
Yeah, but there's even some right here in this valley.
Yeah, there is. But I got a customer just pulled up, so.
Oh, my goodness. That was a short conversation. God bless you. Take care. Thank you. We ought to have a little sign on Doug's door that says, all customers must wait patiently while Doug is on the phone. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I want to remind you about Barry Equipment and Rental. Sales, service, and parts, and they've got 3 locations to serve you at 159 West Highway 30 in Burley with Juan. Hello, Juan. How you doing, buddy? And, of course, 465 Addison Avenue West in Twin Falls with Eli and the Nampa location. They've got everything. They've got all the Bobcats, all the shapes, all the sizes, and they've got something else special with the Bobcats. 0% interest up to 60 months on the Bobcats. Check it out today at any one of the 3 locations. The very best of equipment rentals, retail equipment sales at Barry Equipment and Rental in Burley, Twin Falls, and Nampa. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Well, we know why Trump doesn't have very many press conferences. I mean, he was there for an hour and a half, and I think he could have ended it a lot sooner. But I think he wanted the country to see the vitriol, the hatred for the presidency, for him personally. I mean, there wasn't one person that said, it's President Trump, congratulations on doing a good job with the economy or this or that and the other. Every one of those people tried to pin him against the wall and to try to make a racist out of him, and that one lady, he'd come back at him and says, look, this is the way it really is. And anyway, he really put down that Jim Acosta from CNN. And I watched the whole news conference, and I can tell you, I think there was 35 questions asked. So he was, a long press conference, but it showed just what we're up against with the national news media.
Yeah, hold on a second, Adrian. Let me jump in here a little bit and talk to you about this. I totally agree with your comment on the press conference, and I totally agree with you on your comment about President Trump, etc. But you will agree with me, I'm sure, that there were some very pointed questions that were asked by various reporters, some by CBS, some by Fox, some by other networks. But it seems like there is a certain faction of some of the press reporters that want nothing more than to play the race card, and that's where the Acostas and some of these others fall. And quite frankly, I'm in favor of what they did to Jim Acosta. They revoked his privilege to come into the press conferences and meetings for a period of time. I think it's good. Maybe it'll teach him a lesson to have respect.
Well, absolutely. And when that young intern there, tried to get the mic and he basically pushed her away, good grief. I mean, that goes beyond pale. I would like to make a quick comment about Sessions, because there's something strange about that whole situation. He barely come in there, and then he excused himself, basically, from the the Russian investigation. And to me, and I would almost think that the Clinton crime machine got to him and said, look, you can do whatever you want to, but you leave us alone.
Yeah, but I've got to jump in on you. There, Adrian. And you know I've said this 1,000 times on this program. I don't deal in speculation or anything like that until I have fact.
This is my opinion, because why would he not, after he found out that the Clintons and the Democrats were behind this dossier that led to all of this stuff, why didn't he unrecuse himself? Because he could have.
Well, here's the thing that should have happened. Wait a minute. Here's what should have happened, Adrian.
It's my opinion. But
I know. But listen to me for a minute. Here's what should have happened when they had the visitation of Jeff Sessions and Trump and his subordinates. They should have gone through and said, okay, we're going to appoint you Attorney General. Is there or are there any facts or any parts of any story that might come back to cause you uncomfort or to recuse yourself from working in the fullest extent to be the Attorney General I need for my administration? At that juncture, he should have said no or yes. And after he's appointed to recuse himself, I agree with you. It was absolutely untimely and not very well thought out.
No, it certainly wasn't. And I think that Tucker Carlson, though, last night pointed out what he did as far as the DACA thing. You know, he did a lot as far as criminal prosecution and things of that nature. So to his credit, he did some really good work.
I agree.
He's a good man, but there's something strange about that whole recusal thing. And anyway, but, you know, it's sad. We've had another disaster, in California with a handgun. And you can imagine the media is going to be right out there to get our guns again, so we're going to have to be really vigilant. I
agree with that, and I thank you for your call and your good points on Jeff Sessions and that mess. I appreciate it. Thank you for your call.
Have a good day.
Thank you. That is a mess with Jeff Sessions, and it was kind of like, upon your request, I submit my resignation. Caller, bear with me 60 seconds. I've got to get this weather forecast in, and it's brought to you, everybody, by Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. And they're located right behind the Minidoka Hospital, across from the emergency room, and they are there to serve you with 3 wonderful audiologists that can absolutely help you with your hearing problems. Call them today. Make an appointment at 312-0957. That number again, 312-0957. Here's Gina with the weather.
Here's a look at your weather forecast for this Thursday, November 8th on 7th Ranch. We're expecting a nice day, sunny skies, winds out of the west-southwest, right around 9 miles an hour. Expecting a high of 42 tonight. It is going to get cold. Clear skies and a low of 14, winds out of the west, right around 8 miles an hour. That means we're going to be scraping our windshields by Friday morning, but we are expecting sunny skies for Friday, high of 46. Friday night, partly cloudy skies with a low of 23. As we make our way to the weekend on Saturday, mostly sunny skies, expecting a high of 44. Winds are going to be picking up just a little bit on Saturday. Out of the west, right around 15 miles an hour. Gusts as high as 25 miles an hour. We do have a 20% chance of snow showers after midnight for Saturday night, probably cloudy skies with a low of 23. Then for Veterans Day Sunday, sunny skies and 41. That's your weather. For Zeb at the Ranch.
Thank you very much, Gina. Dr. Pickup and Dr. Mitchell and Dr. Hunsaker really care about your hearing health. Please get a hold of them today at Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids, and the number 312-0957. Caller, thank you. You're on the air.
You're welcome, sir.
We're back.
We're back. Yeah, I just wanted to talk a little bit about Acosta there at the White House. He's been very rude. He does not appreciate the honor he has to be in that White House Corps. He does not act like a man or a gentleman, and he deserves what he gets.
Well, Jim Acosta, working for CNN, and that one of the major networks, cable or otherwise, has a prime-time seat less than 7 feet away from the front of the podium of President Trump. And honestly, last night when I saw this whole thing, or yesterday afternoon, when I saw this, Jim Acosta was at a point, honestly, I believe this, you can tell me I'm wrong, when he kept perpetrating the issue and also jerking away the microphone from the White House aide and throwing her hand off to the side. Many today could consider that almost an assault. And it was at that juncture that President Trump literally walked away from the podium looking at Acosta, and I honestly felt, I'm not making this up, that Trump was going to come down and go get Acosta.
Yeah, I felt Trump was going to come down and grab the mic himself. But did you notice how Acosta, as soon as he stepped from behind that podium, Acosta just, the look on his face, he sat down and he handed the mic to the gal, but you notice he never shut up?
We're talking about the President of the United States. We're talking about the number one leader of the free world today. Whether you like him or not, I don't care. We afford the respect, underline that word, the respect to the president. And some of the questions, like literally that one black reporter, that female that got up and said, "Are you really a white nationalist?" I'm paraphrasing. I mean, that was so disgusting and such a racist question. I don't blame Trump for blowing his fuse.
Exactly. And it's reporters like that that is giving a lot of reporters a bad name. It's reporters like that is telling uninformed people that don't have the wherewithal to look things up for themselves, and it's leading them down a path that is not right.
Let me ask you this.
Lying to the people.
Let me ask you this, and be as open and forthright as you can. Under the assumption that would have happened to Barack Obama in reverse, what do you think the response is, and what do you think would have happened?
Oh, it had been 24/7 for a week, headline news about how they are not respecting and how they are racist because we have a black president and they don't respect him.
Bingo.
Yeah, that's exactly what it would have been. And I'm glad he got kicked out of there. And I think the next time somebody steps up and is very rude and won't shut up, I think their press credentials need to be pulled. And then maybe those folks will say, whoa, if I want to be in here, I guess I better straighten up and act like an adult.
Well, here's the thing that bothers me, and you know the media is going to play this up like this. They're going to say that the president is trying to stymie free speech. Mark my words, that's what they're going to come out with. But yet when you have people that act like children, spoiled children, and you can't ask a question in a professional manner. Now, there's other reporters, whether it's Major Garrett from another major news media or whomever the question is coming from. There are good reporters. But then you take the sleaze that always want to infer that there's a racist movement behind this or the connotation of racism. It makes my blood boil.
Exactly. And they go to that racism because they cannot find any facts to bring up against this president.
It's true.
So they got to go to the race card. And one thing I've noticed, I haven't traveled a lot, but if all the airports would turn off CNN, I don't think they'd have any viewers.
You bring to mind a story. One day I was stopped in Salt Lake City for like 4 or 5 hours. The connecting flight couldn't take off, and we had to wait for another plane and everything. And the guy next to me, we were talking, and he says, "I've had it. I can't stand any more of this garbage." And he went up to the lady, and he says, "May I please have your television clicker?" And I was only sitting about 5 feet away. And she says, "Why?" He says, "I got to change the station before I go completely crazy and turn on something that's sensible." Holy smokes, it wasn't more than 5 minutes. And somebody from the airport staff come over and was trying to confirm whether he was a radical or not. All he wanted to do was just get rid of CNN.
Oh, I don't blame him. It's so comical how CNN is. And they are so...
left.
Yes. And how they stood behind Acosta.
Yeah.
That, I mean, if the people can't see this, most Americans do.
I got to run, Doug. As you can look at your wristwatch, I'm way over and I'm running out of time. Thank you.
You are. Hey, everybody, let's do what we can for senior centers. Let's buy some turkeys and donate to them so they can have a Thanksgiving dinner.
Or take a real turkey to lunch, Jim Acosta. Anyhow, thank you. Have a good day. Don't forget your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Oh, they've got all the tires for the road conditions that might change, not for the better either. The snow, the sleet, the rain, the hail, everything, the mush. Look out, they've got great tires for your car, your pickup, your SUV, all kinds of tires, all different tread designs, all the sizes. All you need to do is stop in and see any one of the 7 locations. Also for the best in brake service, front end alignment, shocks and struts, batteries. You heard Gina say it's going to get down to 14 degrees. Make sure you got a good battery. Stop in and see Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Poline in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland in Burley. The best, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. I got to run to the news. I'll be back in 7. Oh, good morning on a Thursday, November. My goodness, it can't be already the 8th? Holy smokes, good morning. Zeb at the Ranch, and of course, with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations, and they say they've got all the tires you need for wintertime driving. Stop in and see them today, along with some of our great advertisers. Got to really highlight these people. They've helped me a lot. Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. In just a couple of seconds, we're going to be going over to the Minnecasia Chamber of Commerce, but I want to remind you about some great folks. First of all, Minnecasia Hearts for Seniors with Holly Rowe. My goodness, she's got a home run on this idea and business at 135 East, 23rd Drive in Burley. If you're a senior and you want to stay at home, they can help. That's right. You don't want to leave your house. You want to stay there, live in your own home. Well, they can help you with meal preparation and maybe some light housekeeping or maybe run some errands for you. This is a great idea. Minnecasia Hearts for Seniors. Give them a call, find out more. 312-5715. Call Holly at 312-5715 or go to the website holly@heartsforseniors.net. Another group that has got an absolutely great idea to save you getting up on a ladder or me getting up on a ladder. Now, that's fun to watch. I mean, you talk about an accident that's looking for a place to happen. It's me getting up on a ladder. Forever Green Lawn and Tree Service. They will help you with the hanging of your Christmas light bulbs. How do you get a hold of them? I'll tell you. 423-6454. And believe me, they design custom fitting light strands to match the specific needs of your house or business, and they've got all kinds of great ideas. Please call them today for a free quote or schedule an appointment at 423-6454 for Evergreen Lawn and Tree Service at 423-6454. I'm trying to, you notice occasionally I have to stop. It's because I've got those cough drops. And boy, I tell you what, sometimes you got to have a big swallow. Anyway, don't forget to our friends at Ramsey Heating and Electric, and along with Lennox products that can help keep you comfortable. Ramsey Heating and Electric offering up to $1,600 in rebates on qualifying equipment purchases. Call and find out more today. 678-0459. Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. Over 6 decades of serving you. Here we go. Look out over the river and through the wood to the Minnecasia Chamber of Commerce and the one, the only. Good morning, Sarah.
Good morning, Zeb. How are you today?
I've got a cold and I don't feel good, Mama.
I am so sorry.
Anyway, what's cooking over there at the Minnecasia Chamber of Commerce?
Oh, we're so excited. We're getting ready to kick off the holiday season, and it's my favorite because we're out of the fields and back home and get to spend time with our family. But, you know, we're so excited that we're here. So we've got so much going on. If you ever need anything to do or need to know anything about anything, check out our calendar on our website at www.minnecasiachamber.com. But I'll tell you about some of the highlights.
Okay.
So today we're going to have our monthly member luncheon. We have this every second Thursday of the month. It's a great networking opportunity for our area business members to get together and visit and learn what's going on in our community. Today we're going to be meeting at Doc's Pizza in Rupert on the square at 514 6th Street. And our speakers today are going to be Tammy Hanks talking about the Caring and Sharing program that goes on over in Rupert, and Alicia Samples is going to be talking about the Kaja Festival of Trees. So if you need any information about helping out with either one of those, today would be a great time to learn about it. We're so excited to have them with us today. Next month for our luncheon is going to be on December 13th, and we're going to call that Mingle All the Way, and it's going to be a networking event that's going to take place in place of our luncheon. So look for more information on that as we get a little bit closer. We also still have our photo contest going on. You know, I've only had just a few submissions to this, and I really want to see what pictures you have out there. This is open to anyone in our community from anywhere. As long as the pictures are taken in the Mini-Kaja area, just let me know what they are and email them over to me. I cannot wait to see your pictures. This will run until February, so you still have time to get all those holiday pictures in as well. We do have the date set for our annual installation banquet. It will be Thursday, January 24th, and I'm just finishing up the last tweaks on our sponsorship menu, so we'll be sending that out next week. This is a great opportunity to support your chamber and support your community and everything that we do. So look for our annual installation banquet coming up here in January. You know, we had several ribbon cuttings that people are trying to get in before the weather gets too awfully cold. And we did have one yesterday at Intermountain Kaja Regional Hospital for the new sidewalk that was there, which was a super fun event. And you should have seen Shaylee stop in traffic to get that ribbon cutting picture. She did amazing. But we've got another one coming up tomorrow, and that's going to be at Castiani Restaurant right there in Burley. It is located at 1229 Overland Avenue. And they're going to have a grand opening all day from 11 a.m. to 9:30 p.m., They're going to do food samplings and giveaways throughout the day and even live music in the evening. But we will be there to cut their ribbon at 11:30 sharp. So if you'd like to participate in that, come over there to 1229 Overland Avenue at Castiani Restaurant. You know, we've got another ribbon cutting scheduled for next week over in Rupert at E Street Deli. We're so excited about this place. It's just awesome. The food's great. The drinks are great. They're going to have their open house Thursday, November 15th from 3 to 5 p.m., and the ribbon will be cut there at 4:30 p.m., and that's located on the square in Rupert at 542 East Street, so we're excited for that one as well. We have lots of member events coming up for the holidays, and one of them is coming up this weekend, Saturday, November 10th, and that'll be St. Nicholas Catholic School's annual gala, and this is a big fundraiser for their school as well. It's going to be held at the Best Western in Burley. Doors open at 7. Live auction starts at 8. So go over and support St. Nicholas Catholic School. CSI still got some classes going on. You can find those on our calendar. They've been really good about adding all of their events to our calendar. So if you need any more information, you can check out our calendar as well. Up in Albion, they're going to have a Christmas festival this year at Albion Campus Retreats. They're going to do catered corporate dinners. They're going to have a whole... the campus is going to come alive with lights and family fun and hot chocolate and dog sled rides and fire pits. It is going to be an amazing, amazing destination that's so close to us here. Go out to Albion and check that out. Again, we have the Caring and Sharing event coming up in Rupert on November 23rd through the 26th. It's going to be at the Rupert Civic Center at 505 7th Street. The theme this year is Believe, like I believe in Santa, so we're excited for that one. Still some more things coming down the line. We're not going to get too far out there, but Idaho Water Sports is going to be having their Ski Patrol fundraiser movie night on December 1st. It'll be free admission, but you're welcome to do donations. They're going to have raffles and door prizes and hot chocolate and hot dogs and all sorts of stuff. So make sure that you go over and support Idaho Water Sports for their Ski Patrol fundraisers. And just one more thing, we do have a chamber cash here at the Mini-Kaja Chamber of Commerce, and it's a certificate that you can purchase. It works like a gift card. And you can use it at area businesses that are members of the chamber. We have a list here of participating businesses. And it keeps our local dollars local, keeps our hard-earned money right here in our community. If you have if you need more information about that, call us here at the chamber. Stop by. They're easy to purchase, just like a gift card. Works right here, works at several area businesses. But we do want to give a huge shout-out to McCain Foods. They just purchased 700 of those gift certificates from us to keep their local dollars local. They're going to give them out to the employees this holiday season. We're just so proud of them for investing in their community. So we thank you so much to McCain Foods. And Zeb, I think that's all I have for you today.
Wow. I mean, I am impressed. I sat here and I was just listening to you go around the Daytona 500 of verbiage, and I've got to end the program by asking you your Sarah's Groaner of the Week.
Oh, I'm so excited about this one. So I'm already getting ready for Thanksgiving. I don't know if you are, but it's only just a couple weeks away. So I have to know, who was the drummer in the Thanksgiving Day Band?
Who was the drummer in the Thanksgiving Day Band?
Yes.
I have no idea.
Well, it was the turkey because he had the drumsticks.
Okay. You know me and my redneck jokes. I've got one for you.
All right, let's hear it.
Why does it take a redneck 5 days to wash his basement windows?
5 days to wash his basement windows. I have no idea.
He needs 4.5 days to dig the holes for the ladder.
I like it.
Take care, Sarah. God bless you.
Thanks, Zeb. Have a great day.
All right. Sarah Seymour over at the Mini-Cassia Chamber of Commerce. They do a wonderful job. Get a hold of them with any questions on what's going on in the community, and they have the answers. Wonderful, nice people over at the Mini-Cassia Chamber of Commerce. Want to remind you, too, about our dear friends at Let's Ride. Hello, Nick. Hello, Randy. Hello, everybody over there. My goodness, they've got a showroom filled with fun. I'm telling you. All the new snowmobiles and the ATVs and all the accessories. Oh, my goodness, what are you waiting for? Get over there right now today. They're located at 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World. They're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, Saturdays, 9 to 4. Let's Ride. Like I said, all the accessories and a great service department to keep you running. Stop over and see them today. Let's Ride. 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World, where the fun is sold. Really good folks. Let me take a look here really quick. I want to remind you, too, that we are so blessed on this program to have the cream of the crop, the best of sponsors and advertisers. Our thanks go out to Hanson Mortuary at 710 6th Street in Rupert with Joel Heward, his family, and his staff, always serving you and your family. And believe me, it's a sacred trust the grieving families place in a funeral director, and always Hanson Mortuary and Joel Heward with the highest ethical standards with unquestioned integrity. Please write this number down, 436-5636. That number again, 436-5636. Hanson Mortuary, 710 6th Street in Rupert. And Joel Heward also serving you and your family at Morrison Payne Funeral Home on East Main in Burley. Right now, this is really kind of a treat every Thursday because there's some wonderful people working and serving you with the best of health care at Cassia Regional Hospital. Wheels, if you would, please.
People caring about you and your health care in the most professional and progressive ways. That's Cassia Regional Hospital, located at 1501 Highland Avenue in Burley. In a moment, we'll introduce you to just one of the many dedicated medical experts serving you at Cassia Regional Hospital. Today's program, right after this. Cassia Regional Hospital provides you and your family excellent health care answers and services. They're right here, close to home. That's right. Cassia Regional Hospital offers the latest technological advances in medicine, like their new oncology programs and telehealth, which uses electronic information and telecommunications to promote long-distance patient and clinical health care. Your friends, your neighbors. Cassia Regional Hospital, 1501 Highland Avenue in Burley. Quality care, close to home. We get a chance to visit with a lot of great folks that work at Cassia Regional Hospital, your friends and your neighbors, serving you with the best of health care. And this morning we're visiting with Marcy Bedke, and she's going to be talking about an upcoming Lights for Life. Marcy, good morning to you.
Good morning.
It's nice to have you back on the program again, and I'd like to ask, give us a little thumbnail sketch of what your title is, your job description, what you do for the folks at Cassia Regional Hospital?
Well, as a home health and hospice social worker, I deal with patients and families with whatever their needs are. I'm also the bereavement coordinator, which means that I'm assisting families after the death of their loved one.
You know, I would imagine, please understand, I'm not understanding a lot about what you do, but I would say just from the get-go that you really have to be a highly trained person to be able to handle people's emotions and work with folks. This sounds like it's a very difficult job at times.
It definitely has its challenges, but I would say I've been a perpetual student. I've learned so much. I learn so much from every individual that I work with. So I take a page out of nearly every book.
Tell us, and I'm certainly not trying to sound morbid or anything, but these folks that you're working with the hospice, they probably have a mindset that they know that they have perhaps an incurable disease or whatever. Tell us about how you work with them and their families so you keep somewhat of an upbeat attitude.
Well, our whole approach is quite positive. We try to meet the families where they are. We help them understand that we're there to support them and make their quality of life as good as it can be. And we try to dispel all myths of hospice is here to help you die. We're here to help you live as long as you can, as comfortably as you can. We try to know what their goals are and help them meet them.
You know, and I think a positive attitude, you've probably got a lot of stories that have been very enlightening. But what about this upcoming event, Lights for Life? What does that mean?
Well, this is a memorial that we extend an invitation to all of our hospice families and our hospital families that have experienced death. But we also extend it to the whole community. And it's a time for people to gather right before the holidays. We have a speaker and music and follow with refreshments so that people can mingle and talk. But one of the most important things that we do is to stress the importance of remembering our loved ones. And so part of what we do is to have the lights on our our memorial tree light up that night. And it is the only tree on the hospital campus that's lit during the holidays. So if anybody drives by, they'll know that is our memorial tree. So each light on that tree is representing someone we've lost that, still shines on in our hearts. Metaphorically, it's about the relationship still continues.
I see. I would imagine, and then please understand I'm very naive about this. I don't understand all about it. But I would imagine, Marcy, that this is a kind of a drawing together of not only the family members, but other families to kind of sit down and visit, share experiences, and it might be a great big helping evening for everyone.
Oh, no question. All of our staff from hospice tries to attend, and as caregivers, they need that moment of stopping and remembering and healing almost as much.
Absolutely. Now, it's going to be on November 13th. Give us a little background of what's going to take place, the starting time, everything that's going to occur on November 13th.
Okay, we gather at 7 o'clock in the hospital foyer. We just move everything to one end, and it's a great space to have this event. And as I mentioned, a speaker, several musical numbers, and towards the end, we go down into the hallway that connects the hospital to the doctor's offices. And this is something else that will be recognizable to people as they become aware of it. There's a garland that surrounds a window in that hallway. And on the garland will be the names of all the hospice and hospital deaths over the past 2 years. And looking through that window, we'll see the lights of the hospice tree lit.
Oh, my.
Start us into the holiday season. So it's a non-denominational event. There is a great spirit there as people gather and support each other. And I might mention that if there's anyone who would like a name placed on that garland that may not fit into that spectrum of hospice and hospital, we would be glad to add a name.
Well, I can imagine it's taken a lot of people to put this together. Do you have any special thanks that you'd like to offer for people that have helped put this and work with you on this?
I sure do. Welch's Music has agreed to donate a nice piano for the event this year, and we're tickled about that because we invite very accomplished musicians, and we really like to have a good instrument for them. So we appreciate Welch's. We've worked with them for probably the whole 22 years we've been doing this.
Mm-hmm.
And then our tree was donated by Evergreen Nursery. And as you can imagine, it started out a very small tree, and it is huge now. And a few years ago, they came and trimmed it up for us, and they just continued to be great support. And in the window that I mentioned where the garland will be found with the names placed, Becky Scarrow paints that window for us. Mm-hmm. And she has donated that for the last several years. And one more, and not the least of all, is the tree is decorated by Festive Glow.
I see.
And this is something that they donate and have done for the past several years.
Oh, my.
A great contribution to the event.
It just really, I've got visions in my mind of what it looks like and the atmosphere, and it sounds like a really remembering and loving evening that's going to take place on November 13th. And you said the starting time was at 7 p.m., is that correct?
Yes.
Now, what about more information on this? What if there's a family that would like to contact you and talk to you about this? What's the best way for our audience to contact you prior to the event?
They can call 208-678-8844. My name's Marcy. They can ask for me or leave a message on my phone.
Folks, I've had this lady on the air before with us, and she's a wonderful lady, very conscientious and very caring, Marcy Bedke. And how is this event all tied into Cassia Regional, Marcy?
Well, we are both Intermountain facilities, and so we have worked together with a committee of hospital and hospice staff to produce this event for 22 years, and it's been really a great union and serves, everyone.
I appreciate your being on our program this morning, and Marcy Bedke, thank you for taking the time to talk to us about Lights for Life that's going to take place on November 13th starting at 7 p.m. at Cassia Regional. Thank you so much for being on the program.
Thank you for your time.
Tune in every Thursday at 9:18 right here on Zeb at the Ranch for more about the people and the healthcare services at your Cassia Regional Hospital, 1501 Highland Avenue in Burley. Quality care close to home.
And thank you, wonderful people, and Stephanie and the crew over there have been so easy to work with in putting these programs on my program. Thank you very, very much. Let's not forget our friends at Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. Hello, Todd. Hello, everybody over there. They do a wonderful job serving you with the best of life insurance and health insurance, retirement planning, employee benefits, all of this and so much more. They are very accessible and devoted to serving you, your family, and your business. So please get a hold of them today. Call the number 436-4424. That number again, 436-4424. Cameron and Siemens Insurance. Highway 24 in Rupert. Really, really nice people. Oh, yeah, we got to tell you one more time, too, about our friends at Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley, offering you service you can trust, along with Lennox products. And, of course, Ramsey Heating and Electric is offering up to $1,600 in rebates on qualifying equipment purchases of Lennox. So stop in or give them a call today at 2600 Overland in Burley, or call them at 678-0459. Ramsey Heating and Electric and Lennox, and don't forget Ramsey's, of course, over 60 years, 6 decades of serving you. In just a moment, we're going to have Rita Ramsey on our program and talk about everything political. And I was going to mention, too, that later on this morning we have a great guest coming on, Dr. Michael Busler, and he knows all about the economy. He knows all about the tax cuts. He knows all about the stock market, and he's going to be very interesting at 10:30 this morning. Right now, another lady that I have the utmost respect for. I say good morning to her. Rita Ramsey, how are you?
Good morning. I'm real good. Thank you.
Well, needless to say, I don't think we're going to have a shortage of things to talk about this morning. And I want to start, I think, with what took place on Tuesday with the elections. Give us an overview of what you thought about the elections, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Well, I was trying to be cautiously optimistic, and I'm glad that it wasn't as bad as it could have been and was predicted by some of those who really wanted it to be bad for the Republicans. So there wasn't a blue wave, there was a blue drip. So we basically kept control of the Senate, which is really super important for the president's any of his appointments that he needs to make or that type of thing. I'm really thinking that with the House of Representatives, those people who lost their spots in the House of Representatives, most of them were people who were not Trump supporters.
True.
And so it was kind of like, hey, you know what? Does it matter if they're against the president and the Republican? I guess their vote really does and should be but a lot of times they voted against the president anyway, and so that's too bad. There were a few who did, and it's too bad that they lost out. I think, though, that the American people will see these next 2 years if the Congress acts out and does like they say that they're going to, and especially if Nancy Pelosi continues on like she's promised, and she becomes the Speaker of the House again. I think the American people will see that is not what they want, and they'll get the majority again in 2020. But it's really kind of sad. I kind of was just a little bit, kind of shaky a little bit yesterday when I heard Sessions say, "Oh, well, I can work with Nancy Pelosi." It's kind of like, "Oh no, please don't go on to her side. Just stay firm and stay strong, like I'm still in charge, and I'll give you time of day, but you're not going to convince me to go your direction very many times."
Yeah. I don't even know where to start on the election. What I saw, and I want you to comment on this morning, is a ominous threat, not for this year, but for the future, with some of the candidates that are so far left and so far dependent upon socialism as their mantra and message, be it the Georgia gubernatorial candidate, Stacey Abrams, or be it Andrew, I forgot his last name all of a sudden in Florida, pardon me, and others. I'm seeing that these candidates I don't think are going to be one-bullet Barneys. I think we're going to see more of that ilk coming up to 2020, and it scares me, the negativity and the leftist thinking that's going towards that group.
Well, it should scare you, and it should scare me, and it should scare everybody if the truth is known. These the people who were really, in favor of those type of people are the super far left, and a lot of your millennials who think, well, why isn't free stuff a good deal? I mean, they haven't been out in the job market enough to see that there's money taken out of their paycheck to pay for all of those kinds of things. And you get darn tired of getting your paycheck and it's, a third of it's gone before you ever get your hands on it to the government, for the government to dole out to somebody else who oftentimes isn't working. If they were just doling out to the people who are truly in need, the people that we need to take care of, that would be a whole different story. But we're not. We're taking care of a lot of people who should be working, who should be putting into the system instead of taking out. We're paying for a lot of people who have no business even being here, and everybody should just be outraged. I maintain that if when people got paid, they got their whole paycheck, and then at the end of the year they had to pay that anywhere from $5,000 to $25,000 to the government, and really feel the ouch instead of a little bit every week.
Mm-hmm. I like that. Let me ask you about, the president is going into the next 2 years prior to the 2020 election. He's got a lot of things on his plate. We're seeing a growing economy. We're seeing a prospering economy. We're seeing things that did not happen at any time during the Obama years or preceding that with the Bush administration. And really, if the Democrats want to get down and dirty, what kind of a platform can they possibly stand on that would make the American public really want to vote for them?
Well, that's just it. If you tout the right things, they don't have anything because, as President Clinton put it, it's the economy, stupid. That is the number one thing, and that's what everybody's looking at, because if you don't have a good economy, you don't have anything else going for you. If you've got a good economy, you can go a lot of different directions and provide a lot of different avenues for growth and that type of thing. But if you have a bad economy and they're, starting to cut back on your health care, and they will, as soon as they get in charge of it, and that's one reason why I'm really sad that Idahoans voted for the health care expansion. We will be sorry, and we will have nothing but diminishing health care in Idaho. That's just all that's going to happen.
Let me ask you this. The only issue, quite frankly, that the Democrats, up to the election, were throwing around and bandying back and forth is that they were the experts on health care, et cetera. They were going to save people in the health care system. Whoa, unless I missed something, wasn't it Obama and Obamacare, and statements like Pelosi said, well, we got to pass it so then we can read it and study it and find out what's in there? Weren't they the ones that absolutely blatantly kind of stabbed it like a piñata in the first place?
Well, they were, and, that was their thing, is we're going to be in charge of all of it, and then when it comes through, it's like, well, okay, we'll divvy it out, and we're going to run on that. Truth be known, that's one of the very few things. There were a handful of things that they actually got while they were in the majority, but that was their main thing. But that was, 1/6 of the economy if they could be in charge of it. And if you're in charge of people's health care, you basically rule the roost. And so there's been a lot of foot dragging, and some places haven't, got through it. But just everybody take a look at their health care premiums for their insurance and see how they've just gone skyrocket out of the sky.
Yeah.
And you have less coverage.
Then, on the other hand, there was the mocking and the minimizing of the danger and the threat of the caravan coming up to our border. And the Democrats used every opportunity, including with Joe Scarborough and some of the others on the extreme loony left, to criticize the president and his staff and the White House in general for worrying about a threat that they said was absolutely nothing, and that's the caravan. I look at it differently. I look at it to the point where if we let those caravanners in this country, we kind of play like a matador and let them across the border, olé, come on in, we're done. We have no borders. We have no jurisdiction. We have nothing that's going to stop anybody and everybody from coming to America.
Well, that's just it, and that's what the big brouhaha at the press conference yesterday was over.
Yep.
Well, those people really aren't a threat. You were just saying those kind of things. Aren't you just embarrassed now that you would say that, and on and on. Those people are a threat. They're a threat to our culture. They're a threat to our country. They're a threat everywhere. If they're not wanting to come in here and come legally and go through the process and become citizens and assimilate and put into the system instead of taking from the system, they are a threat, period.
Rita, there was and this has been going on for quite some time. We had really, I think, an ill-informed individual that lives here in the Magic Valley write an op-ed on this a couple of days ago in our local Times News newspaper, and there's been others nationwide that have used this brand, if you will. Excuse me, I've got a cold. I didn't mean to cough in your ear. About being a white nationalist. And I stopped and I thought about this the other night. And I am Caucasian. You are also. And I am extremely devoted to the principles and the ethics and the values of my country. I'm a patriot. I love the red, white, and blue, the national anthem, and our Pledge of Allegiance. So, yes, under the understanding of the word nationalist, that's what I am. So what is wrong, and why all of a sudden am I being categorized as one to watch as a maybe terrorist when I have the terminology white nationalist thrown at me?
Well, that's what the big problem is we've got all of these little handles that are attached to people instead of saying he's an American. Doesn't matter what color he is. A nationalist, to a lot of people, and especially those who are used to throwing around names, they're saying, oh, this is like a white supremacist.
Yeah.
He's a nationalist. He just hates everybody that isn't white like him. And that's what they are trying to categorize white males as. You know, I was kind of thinking about that, though. How many white males were there at the press conference yesterday?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, are they in the same category? Why are they not including themselves in that? But they just want to have something to throw, and it's kind of like, oh, well, yeah, President Trump's the one who said he's a nationalist. Well, I don't know the exact words that President Trump would use if he was going to explain it, but I think that what he basically is saying is, I'm for our nation. I'm for the whole country. I'm not for one thing or the other. I'm for the whole country.
Yeah, and I'm going to come right out and say this. I am not going to stand up and give any allegiance or any prideful remarks about any other country except my own. I love America. This is my country. This is my homeland. And if my skin is white or black or brown, and they might say brown nationalists or black nationalists or white nationalists, I'm so proud of this country, I am a nationalist. I don't want to be a globalist. I am proud of America.
Well, see, that's just it. You're a racist if you're not a globalist to a lot of those people. You should have your allegiance to the UN and to the rest of the world, especially like this group of poor people that are coming here from the South, and they're just going to storm our borders, and that's okay. We should just let them in. Well, I say let's dole them up and divvy them out and let them go, maybe a couple of dozen of them to Acosta's place, and maybe a few dozen, 2 or 3 dozen, maybe 4 or 5 dozen to Nancy Pelosi's place, and let them just camp out on her doorstep. Let's let all of them go to those places like that instead of just kind of coming in here and taking over, whether it's our neighborhoods or whatever, and causing some issues. Let's get them here legally. Let's get some laws put on the books that help them to come here legally and expedite things. That is one thing that's going to be really, really interesting to see how it happens now that the DOJ doesn't have Jeff Sessions, because he's been the one who has been holding under control and really holding people, cities, and governors and lawmakers right down to the bone. Mm-hmm. We are going to do this legally, and we're not going to just let it pass.
You know, the left seems like if they can't smear you or call you a name like you're a racist, you're a bigot, you're a hate monger, that they can't exist unless they're labeling somebody that they disagree with. Look what they did to, Tucker Carlson last night. He was on the air when a left-wing mob, went to his house and basically went up on his front porch and started screaming, no borders, no walls, no USA at all. And Tucker Carlson, you cannot hide from the people you hurt with your rhetoric. This is insane.
Well, it is, and it just shows how ignorant those people are. And when I say ignorant, I don't mean mean, I mean just stupid. They do not know the facts. They don't know what's going on, and that's why they call names, is because they're so stupid that they don't know the real facts and saying, let's have a discussion about it. Let's have an intelligent conversation and discuss how we can solve this. Instead, it's let's just call them names, because if we call them names, they just shut right up.
Yeah, but wait a minute, Rita. That's an oxymoron if you're going to say the left can have an intelligent conversation.
Well, you've got a point there.
Let me get the weather on here real fast. I'll be right back with more with my dear friend Rita Ramsey on Thursday. Weather brought to you by Phillips Oaks, Goodwin, Crane and Company. And they've been providing accounting services to the Mini-Cassia area for well over 50 years. I mean the best for you, your family, and your business regarding tax return preparation, tax planning, along with business consulting and retirement planning. The list goes on and on from their very professional staff. Phillips Oaks, Goodwin, Crane and Company, with offices in Burley and Rupert. And right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Here's a look at your weather forecast for this Thursday, November 8th on 7th Ranch. We're expecting a nice day, sunny skies, winds out of the west-southwest, right around 9 miles an hour. Expecting a high of 42 tonight. It is going to get cold. Clear skies and a low of 14, winds out of the west, right around 8 miles an hour. That means we're going to be scraping our windshields by Friday morning, but we are expecting sunny skies for Friday, high of 46. Friday night, partly cloudy skies with a low of 23. As we make our way to the weekend on Saturday, mostly sunny skies, expecting a high of 44. Winds are going to be picking up just a little bit on Saturday, out of the west, right around 15 miles an hour. Gusts as high as 25 miles an hour. We do have a 20% chance of snow showers after midnight for Saturday night, partly cloudy skies with a low of 23. Then for Veterans Day Sunday, sunny skies and 41. That's your weather for 7th Ranch.
Thank you, Gina. Brought to everybody this hour by Phillips Oaks, Goodwin, Crane and Company, providing accounting services to the Mini-Cassia area, and they are the best. With offices in Burley and Rupert, Phillips Oaks, Goodwin, Crane and Company. We're on the line with one of my dear friends, Rita Ramsey. And Rita, I want to go back, if I could, just a little bit to that press conference yesterday. And I watched it as it was happening live. And the rudeness that was displayed by some of the reporters. Now, we had major reporters, John Roberts, and we had others of other networks that stood up, asked the question, waited for the response, thanked the president, and sat down. They got their answer. But then Jim Acosta, and then also that black female reporter that threw up the white nationalism tag, they wouldn't shut up, and they kept going and going, and especially in Acosta's case, where the White House intern, the young lady, tried to go over and very politely grab the microphone and take it away from Acosta, and he kind of shoved her out of the way and held onto the mic. At that juncture, you could see President Trump leave the podium, and honestly, I thought he was going to come down and confront Acosta face to face. What were your thoughts?
I think that he just had to really restrain himself from taking things into his own hands. After all, he's told us he was raised in New York. He's a street fighter, and those kind of things just are not to be tolerated. I really feel sad that that whole thing had to happen, but that Acosta and CNN, they need to reevaluate who they've got in there and what they're doing and be respectful. As was mentioned on a show that I listened to way early this morning, there's no way on God's green earth that any reporter, it doesn't matter, especially a Fox reporter, would have said those exact things to President Obama, that it would have been tolerated, not even for a moment.
No, I totally agree with that. And it seems like CNN and Jim Acosta and MSNBC with Scarborough and the rest of that ilk, they push the envelope as far as they can so that they're going to get some kind of a feedback. And personally, I think from now on, I would, if I were president, just leave them sit there.
Well, it is, and it's just really sad because you've just got all these people, and especially the way left, CNN's right at the very front, that have got all these provocations going. They're trying to see if they can provoke somebody into getting mad so that they can create a story instead of just, doing the news.
Yeah.
Report the news, report the news, report the news. They don't want to do that. They want to cause something so that they can be the first ones to do it. And it's just really sad because, and it comes down to a number of things. We've seen in our country the decline of respect and civility just go way down. Right from the NFL ball games to this, to lots of other things. I mean, people in their everyday stuff, who would have guessed, 25 years ago that there would be such road rage in the way that people treat each other and stuff like that. And it's because we let it get out of control instead of saying, this isn't going to happen, the end, and we're going to be done with it.
Absolutely. Now, let's look at these next 2 years. Let's look at the Democrats controlling the House. What should happen is like what former governor of Pennsylvania, Ed Rendell, said the other day, that they should be legislating, not investigating. I agree with him. But you know as well as I do that Nancy Pelosi, if she retains the speakership, is going to have her arm twisted to go after more of the Mueller investigation and other investigations, possibly going back to Brett Kavanaugh again on the Supreme Court. And this next 2 years could be the worst 2 years in America's history, as far as I'm concerned, if the Democrats don't act like legislators.
Well, it could, and the only consolation in that is that the Congress can do all kinds of things, but they can't do something without the Senate ratifying it, and so basically nothing's going to end up happening, except you'll have a few, things done with, in regards to Supreme Court justices,
right,
appointments for various different things and that type of thing. But you're not going to see much happening, and you won't see anything happen as far as getting rid of anything else. But then why would we expect that they would try to get rid of Obamacare? They had several years, and they were all Republican, or the majority were Republicans, and they wouldn't do it. So I look to see not very much happening either way. I do expect to see that they will probably try to start impeachment hearings and various different things. So it's just going to be sad, and we're going to be in, just a standstill mode.
Quick synopsis on what happened here in the state of Idaho politically in the election. Give us your thoughts real fast about from the governor on down.
Well, thank goodness we didn't get, a Democrat governor or any other spots, except if there were a few in county things. But the part that really bothers me is that the Democrat for governor got almost 40, if not closer to 45% of the vote, and that shouldn't be happening in Idaho.
Okay, and anything else on the election? I've still got about 2 minutes left.
Oh, no, not really. I think there was a lot of things that were probably pretty much as we expected. The generals in our area were really the primaries, I think.
It was really interesting to me, and I got to say this quickly and have your response. Tuesday morning, the election day morning on the program, at 8:19, I started a quick survey as to who people were going to vote for, Brad Little or Paulette Jordan. And in a span of not more than about 38 minutes, we had 43 phone calls, 42 of which were for Brad Little, 1 for Paulette Jordan.
Well, we definitely are more conservative as you come a little bit to the east in Idaho, but it's really sad to think that there's probably close to 40% who would vote Democrat in this red state of Idaho.
Things are changing, though. I think you'll agree that we're getting more of an influx and a kind of a power play coming in from people that are leaving and migrating, perhaps the Portland area, the Seattle area, California, etc. I'm concerned, like you are, about the change in the face of Idaho.
Oh, absolutely. It's like my husband says, just tell them that they can come here and visit, but Idaho's full. Let them stay in their own place.
Oh, Rita, God bless you. Thank you for being on the program this morning, and we'll look forward to having you back next Thursday.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Rita Ramsey, I look forward to having her on the program on Thursdays. Thank you very much. I got to tell you, they say feed a cold, starve a fever. Well, I'm ready to go eat. I'm telling you, I'm starving to death. And I know some great places to go. Let's talk about some of them. How about the AC Drive-In at 601 East Main in Burley? Oh, listen to this. They've got the pumpkin shakes, and they got the black raspberry shakes, and the red raspberry shakes. Oh, my goodness, you're going to love it. And all the famous Farmer Brown burgers and the fries and the special sauce. I'm telling you, folks, that's why they're so busy. Everybody knows great food at the AC Drive-In, 601 East Main in Burley. Let's not forget, too, our friends at Taco Bandito at 2301 Overland in Burley. This is really a great place to go eat, and they got those delicious pumpkin empanadas, knock your boots off delicious, and they've got that pork burrito with beans, pork, rice, sour cream, cheese. Woo! It is good. You got to get in there and check it out. All of this, along with all the great menu choices, right there at Taco Bandito, 2301 Overland in Burley. How about Burgers Etc.? Burgers Etc., of course, with 2 locations serving you. One at 124 South Oneida in Rupert and the other at 700 Overland in Burley. They've got a different soup every day. And during the wintertime, I love soup. And they've got a different flavor, taste every day. Pumpkin shakes, and they got the huckleberry shakes. And every Sunday at the Burley location, shrimp dinner, only $5.99. Don't forget, 2 locations of Burgers Etc. in Rupert and Burley. Well, then let's go over to Steve-O's, 290 South, 600 west of Heyburn. Boy, food made the way you love it. Absolutely. They've got the buffalo burgers, and they've got that new delicious potato called the cheesy broccoli spud, and they've got all the new cupcakes. There is a big, big fad in this country to have cupcakes, and they've got delicious cupcakes at Steve-O's. Great big dining area and people that are really friendly. You better get over there at Steve-O's at 290 South, 600 west of Heyburn. Food made the way you like it. If you're hungry and starving to death. Coming up next hour, we've got Cache County School Days, and we've got the Business Salute, and then at 10:30, Dr. Michael Bustler. We got a whole bunch of things, and I want to remind you again, and Wheels, for some reason, something has changed, and it doesn't sound as clear coming down the headset. Please check all the dials, if you would, please. Monday, on the day after Veterans Day, excuse me again, we're going to have a special tribute to our veterans on the Monday morning program at 10 o'clock all the way up to 11. We have George Mass and many of his friends are going to be here talking about Veterans Day and service to this great United States of America. And I'm looking forward to that on Monday from 10 to 11. Right now, let's go to the news from CBS. We'll be back in about 7 minutes. Oh, and off and running we go. Wheels, I need a little bit more on my microphone and my headset, please. I don't know what changed, but we had some drastic changes in the sound quality coming down the line to me. So if you could help me on that, I'd appreciate it. We're going to be having Cache County School Days in just a very few minutes. Stand by for that. But I want to remind you about some other things that are coming up, and they include a great big sale managed by Bennett Boys Auction Service coming up this coming Saturday, November 10th. It's the Richard Golding Auction at 11 o'clock, located in the Jerome area at 246 North, 300 west of Jerome. And don't forget, watch for the signs. They're going to have tractors and dump truck and the pickup and haying equipment, trailers and livestock items, and lots of farm equipment and miscellaneous items. All of this on Saturday, this coming Saturday, November 10th, at the Richard Golding Auction. And again, look for the sale signs. This is managed by Bennett Boys Auction Service. No sale too big, no sale too small. The Bennett Boys, they do sell them all. Absolutely. In just a few minutes, we're going to have Cache County School Days with Declo Elementary Principal, and that's Kevin Lloyd, so stay tuned for that. And then I want to remind you, too, I had to clear my throat. This old cold's about ready to floor me today. That there's going to be the great big Molson, Angus, and Hereford sale coming up on November 18th. This is a quality comes first production sale at the ranch near Parma, Idaho. It's going to have a great big tri-tip lunch at noon on Sunday the 18th, and then the sale starts at 1 p.m. And the day before, on Saturday, November 17th, they're going to have all the cattle on display right there at the ranch, and it's at the Molson Sale Grill Barn at 3135 Elmore Road between Fruitland and Parma. And for more information, contact one of the Molsons, Mark Molson, at 739-1059, 208-739-1059. That's the big Molson, Angus, and Hereford Ranch sale coming up on Sunday, November 18th. Don't you miss it. Wow, we are blessed on this program to have, of course, Cassia County School Days as a segment of our program every week, and lots of very interesting personalities involved in education in Cassia County. And it's brought to you by our main sponsor, A Child's World, at 1308 Overland in Burley, and they've got all the new clothes arriving daily from newborn to size 16, and believe me, very well made, very reasonably priced. And don't forget, too, that they've got all the Cherokee scrubs and the shoes and the games and the toys and the puzzles, everything, all the furniture at A Child's World. 1308 Overland in Burley. You stop in and see those good folks today. Right now, I'm going to let him do most of the talking because my throat's about gone. We're going to have our Cassia County School Days Declo Elementary Principal, Kevin Lloyd. Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you, Zeb?
I'll tell you what, I've got a cold, and I'm going to, after the program, I'm just going to go in the corner and pout. It's one of those days.
You have a cold?
Oh, boy.
So we're a match made in heaven.
Oh, I guess we are. Kevin, what's cooking this year that might be a little different than other years over at Declo Elementary?
You know, last year with our safety committee, comprised of a lot of our faculty, I put up the question of what's the biggest need we have at our school for safety. It surprised me when they said kindness. Just simply put, we want our kids to enjoy our awesome school, but do so in a way that they can do it in a kind way, and that kindness can be augmented and grow in our school. Through that discussion, we discussed the fact that we want our kids to be kind and more kind to each other every day, but also we saw a need that every adult to a child or child to an adult, we can improve in our kindness. So the focus was a kindness campaign for this school year.
Now, I've got to ask you, did the kids really come up with that on their own, kindness?
You know, the bottom line is that what we see is that when we have a lack of kindness, we have an increase of misbehavior.
Yep.
And the bottom line is everyone's time and passion, it's finite. And we can either spend it on helping kids who got in a fight or who were unkind to each other, or we can put it into actually, pushing for kindness. And we'd rather use our time and our energies for not, remediation, but rather just pushing forward for that good kindness.
Okay, so you're talking about a wide range of children from around the area that go to Declo Elementary. What are the ages you're talking to about a kindness program? I mean, are we talking from first grade to like seventh grade, or give us some variance there?
Sure. Declo Elementary starts at kindergarten and goes up to fifth grade.
Okay.
We do, however, have a lot of interaction with our junior high counterparts, just right across the grass area, and but yeah, that's our ages there.
Well, give me this as an idea, Kevin. What are you doing? What are you teaching? What kind of a program do you have? What kind of different articles of explanation are you telling these kids about how to be kinder and what's in it for them?
Absolutely. So this is how it works. The idea, and by the way, we don't come up with anything original. We beg, borrow, and steal the best that everyone has. So, this comes from a lot of places. But to simply put, we invested in a large quantity of kindness tokens, little wooden tokens that we can give that are simply symbols that the kids can earn. The protocol is simple. Every adult that is in Declo Elementary or who visits Declo Elementary, they come in. And if I find them, or the secretary sees them, when we talk to those people, we not only sign them in, but we give them kindness coins. So if you come and visit, you would be given a little handful, 3-4 kindness coins. And when you go in to volunteer, you would be looking for the good. You would be looking for kindness. And what I tell our parents and our grandparents that come in and help us all the time, I tell them, if you see something that you would like to see repeated, that's kindness. That's good. Give them a token. When one of our teachers or visitors or faculty see an act of kindness, a good deed, kindness, opening the door, helping a friend, tying a shoe for a neighbor, picking up books, what doesn't matter, a kind word. Whatever we see that we love, that we want repeated, we give them a token. But it's not just a token, say, hey, good job. We have to specify exactly what we liked. Hey, I loved how you opened the door for that woman coming in. That was kind. I love that. And they get the token. They then go to the classroom. They raise their hand and say, hey, teacher, I got a token. The teacher stops what they are doing, just for that moment, and say, oh, Tommy, great job. How'd you get the token? Then they repeat exactly what was said by that adult.
Okay.
Great job, Tommy. Thank you for opening that door. We love that. So it's not just that the child does something good. It's that we're communicating with everyone through that simple process of what we like, what we want to see more of, and they go forward.
Let me ask you a question right there, Kevin, if I may, and pardon my interruption, but do you find that some students that are a little bit more on the shy side or kind of isolated from the mainstream of having a clique of friends, is it harder for them to get involved in this program?
No, it's very accessible because you can receive anything for just the smallest things or the biggest things. It is, however, quite honestly, a change of perspective, and it's something that we have to, as teachers and adults, we have to refocus all the time on this because we have to train ourselves to look for the good acts. We do, and it has been verbiage, we do really watch out for those kiddos that aren't receiving the tokens and really trying to give them opportunities to do so, and even tracking those children to make sure every child can participate. Because it comes down to this, and this was a discussion we had. Well, what about those kids that are doing bad things and aren't choosing good things and they don't get any tokens? Should they be able to participate in the fun events that we do? And the answer of all of us was simply this. If we're not seeing an act of kindness from every child, we're not looking hard enough.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a child issue. I think it's an adult issue. And every child does good things. I guarantee it. We just have to look and perhaps give them the opportunity.
What kind of feedback have you had, not only from the students, but also maybe from the parents?
It's been great, and this is sneaky, and we're completely transparent with our sneakiness. By asking parents to come in and look for the good, we're training our parents just as much as training ourselves to focus on the good rather than the negative. There will always be bad. There will always be negative in any kind of system. But if we're training ourselves to look for the good, then we're going to get better feedback and good feedback. And the feedback, Zeb, has been great. The kids are excited. The parents hear about it. Hey, Mom, Dad, I got a kindness token. What'd you do? I did this. Good job. It's simple, but it really is, it's addictive, really. It's great.
You opened the door for what could be called a potential disaster somewhat, and I'm being humorous when I say this, because you allowed one student to be the principal for the day?
Yeah, it was awesome. Well, I've never done it before. I'm always looking for fun, fresh ideas. So I proposed 3 different prizes, and not limited to those, to the students. As the students earn tokens, they fill their classroom jars. The classroom jars earn them fun classroom prizes. But then they pour those jars of tokens into the school, the school containers. Once the school containers are full, then we have a great celebration. The 3 things I offered just to start things out was principal of the day. They can duct tape me to a wall, and I'll grow out my beard, and they can tell me how to shave it, and I'll keep it for at least 1 week. I'm not looking forward to that one per se, but the first one we randomly chose was Principal of the Day, and that's exactly what we did. We randomized it. We selected a student from our entire school. It was a kiddo who did a phenomenal job. He's in 2nd grade, and he went out with me, and he decided what to do, made announcements. He had an assembly, extra recess. He decided that the school did not need homework that day. The kids were very happy about that one, and it was awesome. He did a great job. I think, if I'm not careful, he'll replace me.
You said something about letting the students duct tape you to a wall. This, to me, sounds like you're putting yourself in harm's way.
I just won't be able to defend myself. You're right. I better be a little bit nice before this occurs, so I don't have any, rotten tomato reprisals.
Oh, my goodness. What have you noticed about the demeanor of the entire school? I mean, since you've tried this, what's going on over there?
I see kids, I readily see children trying to do good things. And even trying to be seen doing good things because they want the tokens, but they can't ask for them. They can't solicit to have them. Teachers constantly have them. We're constantly pushing kindness. talking about different things from the faculty. But what I'm saying is, simply put, I see more kindness. I see better kindness between adults and children, children to adults, and children to children.
What about the program leaving Declo Elementary and going to the higher grades all the way up through the high school? I know you'd have to have modifications and you'd have to have alterations to the program, but do you see this happening?
What I see is this. Any effort with any school and staff and student body that goes into trying to be kinder, that's not a loss of energy or effort. Besides the fact that it's the right thing to do, it actually, you save yourself time. And it's just simply put, as I said before, perhaps not very clearly, you can put your energy into fixing a problem, or you can put your energy into circumventing that problem.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, choose kindness or choose fixing, misbehavior and unkindness. It's a simple choice.
Have you thought about doing one for the parents?
What do you mean, Zeb?
Well, having a program, and it just hit me, that maybe in the school year you could have at or near the holiday break, maybe an announcement that you're going to be doing a Let's Be Kinder and More Thoughtful to Everyone, and invite the moms and dads in there, go through kind of a curriculum as to what they could do in the home, what they could do to help the students, etc., and kind of create an aura of kindness from everybody in the family.
So to extend it into the home.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a cool idea. I haven't thought of it. That's why you're famous, Eb.
I don't know about that, but I just had that idea that, we're always complaining about bad little Johnny or bad little Susie. Well, maybe a lot of it could be changed in the home before they get on the school bus to go to school.
I love it. Anytime a parent leaves sends a kid out of the door with a smile on their face or a good feeling in their heart, it transfers directly to the school. It's not always possible. I'm a dad of 5, and I know that very truly. But anytime a parent can do that extends to the school, and from the school to home as well. I agree. That's a good idea.
I think it could be implemented to where a lot of moms and dads, maybe they're not able to be home together with the child when they get on the school bus in the morning, or maybe they're not able to be home together as a mom and dad when they get home on the school bus at night. But, maybe to spend a little time and say, Johnny, doggone it, I've really missed visiting with you the last couple of days. Tell us what's going on at school and how we can help you. And boy, I understand you got one of those kindness awards, and I'm going to try to use some of those same principles with some of my coworkers tomorrow at work. I mean, you could have a thing that would grow like a snowball going downhill.
Yeah, it's a culture. It really is a cultural change, or not necessarily a change, but an improvement. I've always thought that I have one of the best faculties anywhere, and my student body and our parents are amazing. And really, we're just taking what we love about our school and trying to increase that. And anytime we connect it with our parents, and parents with their colleagues, or so on and so forth, that's the right direction. That's exactly what we want. But most importantly, that we want it to perpetuate. We don't want it just to do it for 1 year and go, hey, that was great.
Yeah.
But really push it year after year and make that our culture.
This is what I like about you and so many others in the Cassia County school system, is that I get fighting mad, Kevin, when I hear the denigration of Idaho education, and I hear people that say, oh, you're at the bottom of the barrel and everything else. And then I get a chance to talk to people like you, people that are innovative, people that are progressive in their thinking to try to do things right. I get mad when people keep condemning education because they really need to talk to someone like you at Declo Elementary.
You're handing me a soapbox, and I just want to jump on top of it so much. But I agree with you. I work with the best people. I do. Simply put, the reason I think I'm as passionate as I am, and the people around me are as passionate as they are, is because they believe a simple truth. Every child can learn. Not in the same way, perhaps not in the same time frame, but every child that walks through our doors, we recognize them, assess them, and try and teach and push them higher. Not just academically, but as a person, as a citizen.
Right.
And we believe that every child can grow, every child can learn.
Well, I urge you to keep on doing what you're doing because I think it's fantastic. Kevin Lloyd, principal of Declo Elementary, and I mean this. God bless you for your thoughts, and I wish you a lot of success in the future.
Thank you. and thank you, everyone else. Thank you so much.
All right, sir. God bless. Nice man right there. Kevin Lloyd, Declo Elementary Principal, just one of the great people teaching your children in the Cassia County school system. Right now, I'm going to check with Wheels. I don't know what happened this morning, but boy, I'm having a hard time hearing you over there. Everything's kind of dropped down a little bit. If you could check it out, I'd appreciate it. But we're going to go to the phone line, and we have one of our good friends coming up next, and that, of course, is Jeff over at Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More. Good morning, Jeff. How are you?
Well, I'm good, Zeb. How are you this morning?
Hey, before we get started, I got to tell you that I've been at almost all the Kimberly football games, and there's a young man with your last name that's playing some pretty doggone good football.
Well, I think that there's a young man that is your grandson who's doing quite well as well. So I'm glad to see that both of them are doing good.
Well, the whole team looks really good, and I'm really impressed. Your boy can run. I mean, your boy can run.
He just has to be one step faster than my wife.
There you go. What's going on with this great big harvest sale at Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More?
Zeb, you'll be interested to hear this. And I hope that your listeners recognize that this is a great opportunity for anyone who is considering replacing their floor covering in their home. The holidays are not quite here yet, but they are coming close. And as the weather cools off and you're kind of stuck in the home for the winter time, it's a good time to consider replacing that hard surface or carpet in your home. We have a great special on all of our floor covering that's in stock and also special orders, Zeb. And we also carry the largest selection in stock of luxury vinyl plank flooring. We have installers. We have the product. Many people wish to purchase it and install it themselves to have the additional savings, but we've got everything that you need to replace any of the floors in time for the holidays.
Wow, in time for the holidays.
Yeah, we carry the LVP and the carpet in stock, so if you want to come and have it done this weekend or this coming week, we do have a few installers that could possibly get an installation fit in. You want to act quickly. Or if you want to have it installed after Thanksgiving, but before you set up the Christmas tree, you want to act quickly. But we do have the flooring available right now and the installers to be able to do that.
You know, we didn't talk about this too much in the last couple of months, but I wanted to ask you about it. What about people that say, we've really got to do some changes in this house? We've got to try to freshen up the look and everything. What if they call you up or any member of your staff and say, help, we need help? What will you do?
Yeah, we actually have gentlemen here available that can go into the home, that can move the furniture, that can replace the furniture so you don't have to touch it. They even tear out the existing floor covering. And if you're in need of any new furnishings, of course, we've got everything in stock here in the store, whether it be mattresses, bedding, furniture, bedroom furniture, as far as dressers, chests. We have sofas, love seats, recliners, occasional tables, dining room furniture. So, Zeb, to answer your question, if somebody says, I want to redo this room and it's more than the floor covering, we can do all the moving. We have furniture available in stock if you want to have it delivered before the holidays. Again, act quickly, but we have all of that available.
You know, Aunt Martha and Uncle Fred and Grandma and Grandpa and everybody are going to be coming over to the house for Thanksgiving, and maybe you took a look at your dining table and chair set and said, not going to happen. You've got plenty of those too, don't you?
Yeah, we do. And in fact, Zeb, I'm going to add a little teaser right now. And so I hope all of your listeners will listen very closely because this is very big. We are doing something that is very big. So for anybody that looks at that dining room set or that table and you want to replace it, beginning this coming Wednesday, and you can come in now and you can get these same specials for anybody that wants to beat the rush. We are having a huge Black Friday week extravaganza, our pre-Black Friday special, beginning this coming week. So you can come in now. We can give you the pricing. You can get these items selected if you wish. We are going to have the lowest prices. You can come in and you can pre-purchase these before Black Friday, but it's going to be every department in our furniture.
Ooh.
There's going to have these significant discounts, Zeb. So as a little teaser for all of your listeners right now, I'm not going to go over all of those prices right now, but if you come in right now, we will meet or beat any Black Friday special pricing on any furniture or any brands that we carry here at the store. so your customers can be guaranteed to beat those Black Friday prices, and they can buy it ahead of time and enjoy their Thanksgiving holiday with their family.
There you go. There you go. You can set that turkey on a good-looking dining room set, I'll tell you that. Jeff, I appreciate you. Tell everybody what your hours are over there, please.
Zeb, we are open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., and Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Come on in, hurry in. We're located at 459 Overland Avenue in Burley.
My friend Jeff over at Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More. Great people, great buys at Lee's Furniture. Jeff, God bless. Good luck this weekend, buddy.
Thank you, Zeb. We'll see you at the game.
You bet. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Great guy, Jeff Bronson over at Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More. I'm just about 30 seconds away from sending this back over to Wheels, and he's going to take it for the bottom of the hour break, and then we're going to come back with a gentleman that I always look forward to having on my program, and that's PhD Dr. Michael Busler, and we're going to be talking about the economy. We're going to talk about the stock market and growth and sell-offs and everything else. So Dr. Michael Busler coming up in just a few minutes. Right here on Zeb at the Ranch for a Thursday. Wheels, I'm going to send it back over to you. It's all yours.
And now, back to Zeb at the Ranch on AM 1230 KBAR. To reach Zeb, call 436-2244 or toll free 1-866-927-4587. And now, here is Zeb Bell.
Thank you very much, and welcome back to our last little bit on this week, on this Thursday, Zeb at the Ranch. And I understand that there's been some difficulty trying to get a hold of our guest. Is he available yet, Wheels? Do you know?
I'm getting him through right now.
Ah, good. We're very fortunate to have him on the program again, and he is a public policy analyst, economics expert, and a professor of finance at Stockton University in New Jersey. And we say good morning to Dr. Michael Busler. Sir, how are you?
Morning, Zeb. How you doing? It's my pleasure to be here.
Well, I was really hoping to have you on the air this morning, fairly close to the finalization of the election, the midterm elections. And one of the things I got to ask you about is, what in the world are the Democrats running on? What can they possibly have as a platform when we're seeing growth in our economy, we're seeing growth in everything around us, jobs are becoming more prevalent, and more people have got a great enthusiasm for the future of America. What in the world can the Democrats do to change this or be negative about?
Well, I'll tell you, the Democrats are running on not Trump. And for the last 2 years, they've been resisting virtually everything the president has tried to do. You know, I think it's amazing, all of the accomplishments that the president has been able to achieve, especially with the economy and defense of the country. He's been able to achieve all that with every single Democrat voting against him, with the press having 90%, more than 90% of the coverage negative about him, and even some members of his own party don't support him. In spite of all that, he's been able to get things done. So the Democrats continue to run on not Trump. We're going to do everything we can to stop Trump. And I would agree with you. I'm not sure why they want to stop him, only that they want to get into power themselves, because certainly everything that Trump has done has been very, very positive. So they run on a not Trump, and then they try to run on fear by saying, look, if you continue to vote for Republicans, they're going to take away your health care. The pre-existing condition clause will go away, which the Republicans will not do, but the Democrats run on that. And by putting in the fear into people and having people nervous about their health care, that seemed to be somewhat successful for them. The economy is an issue when the economy is not doing very well. Then people start to say we need to turn things around. Mm-hmm. When the economy is doing very well, as it has been since Trump took office, then they sort of take it for granted a little bit, and now something else becomes a major issue. And the Democrats were able to play on that and they ended up taking over the House of Representatives.
You know, Dr. Bussler, I've got to say this. It's almost to me like the Democrats are, this sounds really perverted, but they're like sitting in a city park on a bench, waiting for an old man to trip and fall over a crack in the pavement. Isn't that basically what they're trying to do? They're wanting this president to fail.
Yeah, that's exactly right. They're more concerned with them getting into power than they are pushing policies that would benefit the country.
Absolutely.
They're waiting for Trump to stumble on anything, and they'll play that as big as they possibly can. And unfortunately, 90% of the time, the media is right behind them. And with that kind of backing from the media and people getting bombarded constantly from the media about all this negative Trump, they start to think, well, maybe some of this stuff is right, and they start to look more towards the Democrats than the Republicans. I'm a little bit nervous of what the House of Representatives, controlled by the Democrats, can do. They can't overturn the tax law that was passed that is doing marvelously, although they present it as a tax cut for the wealthy, and it's really not helping the middle class, which is not true. So they can't reverse that. However, what I'm afraid of is there'll be some kind of a bill that the Republicans want to get passed.
Yeah.
Maybe it's, I don't know if it'll be on immigration, or maybe it's something with some of the foreign trade things, something they're trying to get through, and the Democrats will say, we won't support this unless you raise taxes, particularly on the wealthy. And I'm afraid Trump may have to give in. I hope this doesn't happen, but it is a possibility that Trump might say, look, I've got to get this bill through. If it means I raise taxes on the wealthy a little bit, I guess I'm just going to have to do that. The problem with that, if that happens, is this tax cut was geared primarily to create new capital. Our economy hasn't been growing very well, really, since 2005, that is prior to Trump getting in. To stimulate growth in the economy, we have a capital-intensive economy. We need a lot of capital. The tax cuts were geared to create new capital. That's why he lowered the corporate tax rate from 35% down to 21%. That gives corporations more capital. When they cut taxes for everyone, they cut the wealthy's taxes too, also by 10%. That increased disposable income to the higher income earners won't go into consumption. They already have all their houses and boats and everything. It will go into investment, creating more capital. So by creating that new capital, business investment the first 6 months of this year was up almost 10% over last year. That's going to pay some really good long-term benefits. So if the Democrats are successful in raising taxes, and they're going to go after the wealthy, raise taxes on the highest income earners, that will reduce capital formation and tend to slow some of this economic growth.
Dr. Bussler, what did you think of the assertions by President Obama, past President Obama, about, yep, there you go, America, I handed you this great economy, but I don't get any thank yous? What did you think about what he said?
It's completely wrong. During the Obama administration, when he should have been concentrating on economic growth, coming out of a severe recession and having the Federal Reserve massively increase the money supply, drop interest rates to zero, and have Congress spend more than $1 trillion over what they brought in taxes, that should have stimulated economic growth. And we should have gone out of the recession into a recovery and then into an expansion. What happened, the Obama administration, they were more concerned with curing perceived social injustices. It's injustice people don't have health care. It's injustice the wealthy make more than the average person. It's injustice big banks and business take advantage of consumers. So everything they did to cure those perceived social injustices tended to slow economic growth. The Affordable Care Act added costs to business for labor, which slows growth. It raised taxes on the middle class, which slowed growth. They passed the Dodd-Frank bill, making lending from banks very difficult. That reduces the effect of monetary
policy. He raises taxes on the wealthy. In 2011 by 10%, he raises the capital gains tax from 15 to 20%, and in some cases up to 23.8. So all of those actions he believed would cure these social injustices. Every one of those tended to slow economic growth. As a result, President Obama is the only president in history to serve a term in office without having at least 1 year with at least 3% growth. He averaged slightly over 2%. So Obama's actions, had he done absolutely nothing, the economy would have gone from recovery into expansion. Because he took all those actions to solve those perceived social injustices, the economy never got out of the recovery stage and into the expansion stage. Indeed, it wasn't until President Trump got into office, reversed all of those regulations, cut taxes for everybody, including the wealthy, repealed portions of the Dodd-Frank bill, and repealed portions of the Affordable Care Act. It wasn't until they did all that the economy started to grow at over a 3% rate. And for a couple of quarters of this year, the second quarter we're over 4%, the third quarter we're at 3.5%. So we didn't get this growth and this expansion until President Trump reversed everything that President Obama did. I think it's laughable that President Obama tries to take credit for the Trump expansion.
Dr. Bussler, we have a caller with a question or a comment. Go ahead, caller. Please, you're on the air. Please.
Yes. Do you think President Trump's going to be able to get this middle income tax cut through? And if so, what'll that do?
Go ahead, please. Dr. Bussler, did you hear the comment?
No, I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
Wheels, there's been some changes or something because we're not having the guest hear the caller. Caller, if you'd repeat that question again to Dr. Bussler one more time, please.
He hung up, sir.
He was asking about the middle income tax cut and whether or not you think that President Trump will get that amplified and through Congress.
He's certainly going to try. It's hard for me to imagine a Democratic House of Representatives saying no to a middle-class tax cut. And indeed, as I said, the first tax cut, while the middle class did get something, it was primarily geared to create new capital, and it worked splendidly. Now President Trump says it's right. This was the last tax cut was slanted mostly to people who create capital, which happen to be the wealthy and the corporations. Now I'm going to put through a tax cut that is primarily geared to helping the middle class. I can't imagine the Democrats voting against that, but if Trump thinks that they might, he may try to put a tax cut through before the new House of Representatives are seated sometime in January.
Yeah.
So he could try to do that, or if he tries to talk to the Democrats and say, look, if I propose a middle-class tax cut, will you be in favor of it? If they tend to go along with that, then he'll wait until after the new Congress is seated.
Dr. Bussler, when you looked at the personalities that were running on the Democratic ticket, the Gillibrands, the Alexandria Cortezes, the Gillums, the Stacey Abrams, all of those with a bent towards socialism, doesn't it scare you about how many more are going to come creeping out of the woodwork in the future before 2020?
It scares the heck out of me. And I'll tell you, this happens every time the economy is doing poorly for a long period of time. And prior to Trump, we didn't have that 3% economic growth since the year 2005. So we went 12 years. Now this year we're going to be over 3% probably. So we went 12, 13 years until we got 3% growth again. Well, when growth is that poor, it means that there's not good opportunities for people. Many of my college students graduating in the last decade were lucky to get one good job offer. Many of them had to take jobs for which they were overqualified. And as a result of them taking jobs where you didn't really need the college degree, they start to get disheartened. I paid all this money for college, and, it's not getting me anywhere. College should be free. And then the people without college degrees don't have any opportunity at all, since the people with college degrees are taking those jobs. So they drop out of the labor market, become discouraged workers, and they start saying, look, there's nothing for me here. The government's supposed to take care of me. So the whole idea of socialism being appealing occurs when you go through long periods of very poor economic growth. What I'm hoping happens is that as the economy continues to grow in the next couple of years, and I think it will in the next couple of years, there'll be more opportunities for people, which means the underemployed college graduates will now find jobs suitable to their skills. That'll open up opportunities for people without college degrees, so they'll now have jobs and they'll be able to take care of themselves. And I'm hoping that would tend to reduce any appeal that socialism may have going forward.
Yeah, but Dr. Busler, I think you'll agree with me. You've been on this program many times with me that it's not your problem as a college professor. By then, it's too late. We've got to somehow open the eyes of these kids when they're in elementary school, junior high, and high school as to the benefits of a capitalistic society that has made this country the best country in the world.
That's exactly right. And by the time they get to college, and unfortunately, the vast majority of college professors are very liberal, and they take a very positive view of socialism. And what I've complained with and debated with many of my colleagues is, look, if we're supposed to be teaching college students critical thinking skills, you have to present both sides of an argument to them and then show them how to figure out what is best. By showing just one side, as they've been doing, the socialistic side, they're hurting the students, and they're pushing these socialistic ideas onto the students. Once the students get out in the real world, particularly if there's opportunity for them, they're going to start to question all these socialistic views that their professors have pushed on them. I remember when I went to college many years ago, I too supported, well, the government should take care of them and the government should do this for people. Then you get out in the real world and you start earning money and they're taking a lot of taxes from you, and you start realizing all of these things you want the government to do is coming out of your paycheck. That's when I decided that really what's best for everybody is if they learn to take care of themselves where possible and stop relying on the government to take care of people, take care of their needs. Let people become self-sufficient where possible. We stress individual responsibility in this country, recognizing we do have a social responsibility to people who are truly needy. We certainly realize that. Americans are compassionate people. But the people that are not truly needy should learn to take individual responsibility for themselves. Once they see the rewards of doing that, this whole idea of socialism, I think, will be diminished.
I'm sitting here and I'm going, why aren't there thousands upon thousands of Dr. Michael Buslers in our school system? Why aren't we teaching and preaching to these kids that they can do anything in this country and succeed if they'll take the moxie and go out and apply themselves with the God-given talents they have? I mean, why are teachers giving this negativity attitude of we all got to be the same, we all got to be like little bitty mice, here's a piece of cheese, go off in the corner and stay till the next morning? This is idiocy that's enveloped our whole education system.
I agree with you. I also question this myself. I can't imagine how people, professors, and these are very intelligent people, how they've reached the conclusions that they've reached. The only thing I see is that many of these professors simply aren't getting as far ahead as they think they should, and they start to feel like they're a victim. And once you get that victim mentality, it starts to lead to sociology, and you start saying to your students, listen, you don't want to be a victim either, so make sure the government stops it from happening. If they would think this thing through, instead of worrying about being a victim, they would see that, look, the U.S. went from a new nation to number one in everything. It took about 150 years. We had the largest economy, the most powerful country, the most amount of freedom, more people reaching the American dream. That was all done because we have a freedom-oriented society where people took responsibilities for themselves instead of expecting the government to take care of everything for you.
You need to start a team of people that are like thinkers like you, that have everything right in your mind, to have people go out and accept the responsibility of moving themselves forward and not being dependent on the government. God bless you, Dr. Bussler. I appreciate your being on my program.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. Welcome. I'm happy to be here anytime.
Oh, by the way, let me be the first to say, hopefully, Happy Thanksgiving.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, sir. Thank you so much. There is a man that's got his ducks in a row, so to speak, and understands, economics expert and professor of finance at Stockton University in finance at Stockton University in New Jersey. And I really appreciate him being on my program. Straight shooter and understands. Time for the weather. Quickly, I've got to get the weather on here before I lose my voice. Scarrows Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome. Absolutely the best with all their delicious meats, the marinated pork ribs and the buckboard bacons and the bratwurst. I love bratwurst. And all the breakfast sausages, everything delicious. You're going to love it. Scarrows Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome. Telephone number to call, 324-7657. Or you can go to their website and check it all out at scarrowsmeats.com. Right now, here's Gina with our weather.
Here's a look at your weather forecast for this Thursday, November 8th on 7th Ranch. We're expecting a nice day, sunny skies, winds out of the west-southwest, right around 9 miles an hour. Expecting a high of 42 tonight. It is going to get cold. Clear skies and a low of 14, winds out of the west, right around 8 miles an hour. That means we're going to be scraping our windshields by Friday morning, but we are expecting sunny skies for Friday, high of 46. Friday night, partly cloudy skies with a low of 23. As we make our way to the weekend on Saturday, mostly sunny skies, expecting a high of 44. Winds are going to be picking up just a little bit on Saturday. Out of the west, right around 15 miles an hour. Gusts as high as 25 miles an hour. We do have a 20% chance of snow showers after midnight for Saturday night. Partly cloudy skies with a low of 23. Then for Veterans Day Sunday, sunny skies and 41. That's your weather for Zeb at the Ranch.
Thank you, Gina. And again, we thank everybody over at Scarrows Meats, Don Scarrow and his crew at 331 North Road, Jerome. And they are changing the way we eat one delicious bite at a time at Scarrows Meats. Oh, my. Want to remind you again, Sunday is Veterans Day, and we're naturally not going to be on the air Sunday, but Monday we're going to have a special observance of Veterans Day, a day late. And from 10 to 11, we're going to have my dear friend George Mass is going to head up all the people that are going to be on my program for that hour as we highlight our veterans of this great United States of America. That's coming up next Monday at 10 to 11 on Zeb at the Ranch. Want to also remind you about our Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All 7 locations serving you with the absolute best of tires. If you have to drive in the mud and the muck and the snow and the hail and the rain and everything, they've got tires for anything that's on the road. You'd better be ready and be prepared. They've got your car tires, pickup tires, SUV tires, trailer tires. They've got all of your tires, all the sizes, all the tread designs. So be sure and stop in and see any one of the 7 locations today. And don't forget, too, the best in brake service and front end alignment, shocks and struts, batteries. You heard Gina say it's going to get cold, down to about 14 degrees. Make sure you got a good battery to turn over the engine on that 4-wheeled wonder. Stop in and see Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Poline in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland in Burley. The best. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. That's going to be it for me for this entire week, as a matter of fact, not just for today. And we're going to be back here again on Monday Starting at 8:06, we'll saddle the horse and ride for 3 hours. We've got some great guests lined up. Richard Manning and Robert Spencer, terrorist expert, along with George Mass and our tribute to our veterans. Don't miss next Monday. It's going to be a really good program. We say have a good weekend. Drive careful, be safe. God bless each and every one of you. And remember, right here on Zeb at the Ranch, we always say the way things were, the way things ought to be, and the world needs more cowboys. Have a great weekend.